Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basic Fighter. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing Basic Fighter Tactics, and yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so the first major evolution in tactics to really improve your game is you need to be gaining altitude at the beginning of the match. Altitude is always going to be your friend. So I'm going to set up above my rabbit here, and he's gonna flat outrun me. Mr. Rabbit, may you turn and slow down a little bit for me. I know you don't say that in a normal game, but this is a showcase. So I'm gonna set up above and behind him, and then I am going to dive on the target, and he's just gonna outrun me and get a clean deflection. From the 6 o'clock position, that is your easiest shooting. That is where you should be doing 90% of your engaging, and that's where you will get the majority of your kills. Now, from up top, you have a couple options. You can do a dive like that, and if you're nice and high and he's nice and slow, and you dive on him, you can get a frontward deflection, right? So that means I'm diving in the front aspect, and I'm getting a deflection shot there. In that deflection, you have very, very little gun time. But, as long as you dive and then climb back to altitude, you should be fairly safe. So here, we're going to go for a front aspect deflection. Now, the biggest benefit I have is not turning with him. If I dive and I can get behind him, that's fantastic. But the second he starts turning left or right, I need to be gaining altitude and pulling away. Getting into a dogfight is the worst possible option that you can have in a fighter. You lose all of your speed, you lose all of your altitude, you lose all of your advantages. Rather, you should be extending away from the dogfight, especially if you're in a faster aircraft. And he is in a bit faster, but he is below me, so he's going to have a harder time catching me. Use your speed and your altitude as your advantage when playing. So I'm just going to extend out, and I'm going to wait for him to turn off. So I'm going to sit above him, and then I'm going to dive on him. I'm going to slot in. He's going to break right or left because he sees me coming. I'm going to break in the opposite direction. I am going to gain altitude, and if he dives, do not chase. Do not chase somebody diving away. Do not try and force the dogfight. If you force the dogfight, you will lose. As long as I can stick above him, he's going to have a very, very hard time getting his nose and forcing it upwards to hit me. As you can see, he's starting to stall, and I'm starting to regain extension and altitude. Now, the trick with dogfighting is be very patient. Keep your head on a swivel and be extremely patient when fighting somebody. Now, if you are not patient and you try and get into a dogfight, that is the worst case scenario. If you dogfight somebody, like I'm trying to do here, Bounty has every single opportunity to shoot me down. Because I am losing speed, I am losing altitude, and I am losing advantage. As the US manual in dogfighting states, or for dogfighting states, if you have to dogfight somebody, something has gone very, very wrong. So, stick up top and dive. It's very simple, it's nice and easy, it'll get it done pretty quickly. And a big component of dogfighting, and of this sort of boom and zoom kind of warfare, is knowing your opponent. I know that he's in a 109F. He's got great climb, he's pretty fast, and he turns pretty well. I know I can outturn him. But I also know that I can catch him in a dive and shoot him down. Knowledge in War Thunder is as powerful, if not more so, as a 20mm cannon. Know your opponents, and know who you can beat. So, in a dogfight, the first maneuver typically is the head-on pass, which me and Bounty both get guns on, we fire, and we turn. In this case, he's going to do a heck of a lot more damage to me with his 20mm cannon, and I am just going to extend away. Now, I did get some hits on them, but they weren't good. And now I break back into him. We pull for another head-on pass. I'm going to start firing early and get just kind of a wall of tracers at him. He's going to start shooting and hit me a couple times, and I did take damage to my radiator. So with that being said, I now know this dogfight will end very, very quickly for me, because my engine will overheat. So he's going to sit on my 6 o'clock position, where he is in fantastic firing position, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. I am currently going down. So, the second typical starting position, if you are not dead even with them and have the exact same advantages and disadvantages, is you are going to be above the opponent. Now, while being above the opponent, you have the advantage of being able to dive. As we discussed earlier, you want to be boom and zooming and being very, very patient. So, and that's what I'll do. I'm above him by quite a good measure, and I'm just going to sit above him. And he's going to have to point his nose up and dump all sorts of speed, energy, and time into coming up and getting me. I'm just going to wait for him to do a zoom climb. He's going to fire and most likely miss. And then he's going to stall out. With him being stalled, I can now dive in for an easy and clean kill. And I missed my dive, I missed my shots, and I am just going to point my nose up and convert all of that speed into all that altitude. And he's not going to be nearly as fast as me. So, I'm going to get about 150 miles an hour, which is where this plane likes to start losing a lot of speed. And he cannot climb to meet me. So, me being above him, I am in relative safety, in which I'm just going to hit his engine and set him on fire, and he's going to burn down, and then I'm just going to return back to altitude. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first accepted thing that you usually do at the start of the match is you take a slight left brake, and then you climb. So, currently we're in the 109 F4s. I would recommend climbing to somewhere in the 10,000 foot range. These things do perform very, very well at altitude, and they are kind of a finicky fighter. So, we are going to try and put our advantage to use. They do very, very good in high energy states, and they turn pretty tight in those types of states too. So, we're going to climb and accentuate the advantage, right? War Thunder is all about pitting your advantages against somebody else's weaknesses. For example, a P-47 versus a Spitfire. A Spitfire should win on paper. It turns tighter, it can be faster, but if the P-47 accentuates its advantage by using altitude and its superior speed, it can beat a Spitfire almost every time. Because a Spitfire, in a dogfight, will try to turn and lose energy. A P-47 will dive through and pull out, thus making it so the Spitfire's advantage, which is its fantastic turn rate, gets mitigated by the P-47's speed and patience. We kind of are going to do the same concept. Dive on the enemy, climb away. Also, by the way, the engine cowling on the F4 is asymmetrical. Merry Christmas. So, I think this XP50 is going to be a good, solid target. Me and Bounty are going to play a game we like to call Hybrid Lowbird. So, one of us is going to dive, I think it'll be me, and one of us is going to cover. This XP50 is trying to climb on us too. So, I'm going to dive, Bounty's going to keep cover. He's going to make sure nothing comes out of the dive chasing me. And I'm going to try and set up him to take a shot here. Unless this XP50 just decides to nope on out of there, which is his best course of action. The man saw the setup and was like, nah, I am good.
Alright, that B-17 is actually looking like a good target now.
So, we're going to do the same thing, except he's going to dive on this B-17. Now, he's going to dive and I'm going to cover. My job is to make sure nothing pops out of the blue and slots in. Be advised, we do have a Yak 3. I'd be careful. I'd pull off. Those gunners are tearing you up. Oh, you've got other problems.
Yeah,
So,
Spitfire.
this Spitfire is going to be my victim because he's decided to dive on my squatty. Now, I'm a bit far away, but I'm still going to get good, clean shots on him. And knock him out of the sky. And that's the advantage of playing like this in a hybrid lowbird fashion, because it allows us to cover each other. Where's that Yak 3 at? I see him.
Go after the other one eye.
I'm gonna
RTV.
I'm gonna pick this B-51 up. Ah, he got good hits on me. I knocked that Yak 3 out too. I lost a wingtip in the process.
Still flyable?
Oh yeah.
Or just RTV?
You know me, I could fly a fucking orange crate, man. But as you can see, I kept my advantage, and I kept my speed. So that's why the P-51 was kind of stalling out, and I shouldn't have dove on him when I did, because that kind of forced him to attack me. If I would have waited just a little bit longer, he probably would have stalled and just been easy for me. You want to go high and cover me? Yeah.
We should be fine. We got 3 109s right here, so...
He's closing fast. We're losing tickets fast, too. Alright, I'm going to go low, you go high, and then we'll kind of split him. He's not looking at me. Oh, you mine. You mine!
I think these gunners are more or less dead.
I think he's very, very much on fire, is what I think.
Yeah, keep an eye on him.
Yeah, our B-17's gun shipping him, too. What a man! What a lad!
Looks like well, us two are the high
Yeah, we've got a Yak 3, a
Hey, I got the
Lavochkin,
kill
and a
for
Yak
it.
3.
Nice. So I know with Russian stuff, we literally have to boom and zoom because they have perfect.
Well, also, the higher we are, the worse their engines will perform. So, we want to bait them into an engagement up here. So, boom and zoom's preferred.
Looks like
That
arc
Yak,
racing.
yeah. You want to pick him up, or you want me to? Because he's got a friend with him. I'll pick him up, and then you cover.
You go for dark. I'll go for MD.
Nah, you sticking. Alright, I'll lag behind you and make sure you're covered then. MD's braking. I got shots on. I got hits on. I'm pulling out. Oh my god. I'm compressing. You got a Yak 9 incoming. Bloodlord, 73. Forcing him to turn off. And I'm pulling out. I got MD on my 6. He's got guns on. I'm running. How close is he? You got a Yak 9 behind you?
Yep.
Set him on fire.
Oh,
MD's
God.
pulling for me. Yak 9's going down. He's out of power. Where's MD? He's on you.
He's on me.
I see him. Dive, dive, dive.
For you?
Oh, he's pulling his guns on me. I whiffed. You got him. Good kill. And see how communication really does affect engagements? Like, I wouldn't
How are you?
I'm out of water. So,
Alright. RTD.
yeah. But if me and Bounty don't communicate there on what we're doing, me and Bounty don't come out of that alive. Because he played that absolutely fantastically. My one gripe is that we both went for 2 people at once and I didn't cover. But it happens. I'm diving on this 47 real quick.
Sure.
I'm diving on that Yak 9 because I'm going to overcompress if I keep that dive up. Yeah. My engine's fine for now.
Yeah. Mine on that hand is oil.
Yak 9's down.
47's
Coming for me. Yeah, I see him. I see him. I got some hits into him. He got a wing spar, though, which isn't the most ideal. Oh my god, he came around. Oh, I got a 0.
Yeah.
I got a Zeke on me.
Luck is not on our side.
Yeah. I'd say that's still pretty solid. Alright. When this game ends, we'll do an outro. We'll make sure you get your introduction, or your outro in there too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that will just about cover it for Basic Fighter Tactics. I tried to put in some dry scenarios with my partner, and then we did some live gameplay. I hope that helps a little bit with kind of understanding how you want to be fighting. There is a lot more to it, though, so I would recommend playing the game and learning what suits you. My style of fighting is not for everybody, but it works well for me. With that, I will be seeing you guys tonight, 8 p.m. EST, on Twitch, and I hope to see you guys there. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.